Bruh.
A few moments later.
Begin chapter 242 with a flashback into Ness's past. Ness explains that both of his parents are scientists, and that ever since he was born, his parents drilled into him that everything in the world can be explained through logic. Sometime when he was younger,
he had gotten a wound on his hand and went to his father and asked if he could heal it with a healing spell. Unfortunately for Ness, his father told him no and that he needed to quickly clean the wound and disinfect it. However, it doesn't stop there, as he tells Ness that if they don't clean the wound, there's a chance that it would get infected.
If that were to happen, then it would become necrotic, and in the worst case scenario, Ness could die, which is a lot to tell a kid. However, he soon after went to his mom to ask if that's true, however she denied it, and overhearing it, his brother and sister started calling him stupid. He later asked his siblings if it were possible to summon a monster and bring it to life. However, they had enough of his imagination, and told him that it was impossible, and told him to stop reading such garbage, explaining that there was no magic in his house. But Ness wasn't going to let that stop him, because on a winter day, he built a snowman, made a magic wand, and also a summoning circle around it. He told the snowman to give him all of his strengths and to come to life. But during the spell, his siblings came out to him telling him to shut up and that they couldn't focus on their experiments due to his noisiness. Ness looks confused and only explains that he was practicing magic as he wanted a pet for himself. This makes them extremely angry for no reason and destroys Ness's wand and his snowman. You can even see that the snowman was shedding a tear as he got destroyed. Later, they told their parents about Ness's magic practice and asked if he's even related to them. His parents come out and explain that snow is composed of frozen water crystals, but they also contain dirt particles that were circulating in the air, and asked him to wash his hands on the way in. His father tells Ness that they are scientists and that it's their duty to observe, research, and explain natural phenomena. However, that wasn't enough for their father, as he also told him straight up that people who foolishly believe in the impossible are not wanted in their house. His father's harsh words make Ness fall down to his knees and start crying, while his siblings don't go to comfort him, but instead go back in saying that Ness definitely got the short end of the gene pool. Ness is so furious at them and says that they reject magic because they can't explain it in a scientific manner, and that they are all unable to understand the sadness within his heart. Ness explains that he truly believes that magic does exist. Unlike the rest of his family, Ness liked dealing with fiction rather than fact, and if his family likes to brush off fiction as magic, then he believes that the world is filled with magic and adventure. When he was watching a football match, he felt something he was unable to explain. A player scored a goal, and it was like magic flowing all around the pitch and striking Ness. He looks at the player celebrating and says that football is true magic. A single goal or a single player can ignite the crowd, whip the entire stadium into a frenzy, and provide a sense of euphoria that transcends all logic. And just at that time, Ness was happier than ever as he found it. He finally realized that football players are magicians. After that day, he started training like a madman, as he knew that it was what he wanted to do. His siblings wondered if he was an idiot, and their father told them to forget about him, and that he would come back crying to them in no time. When they see Ness playing a game, he is in a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and shoots an incredible goal while saying that one day he will become a player that will enter the world with his magic. After that, Ness goes to celebrate with his teammates, when suddenly, someone new comes forward. He tells Ness that if he's interested in turning pro, he should definitely try out for their club, which is what he did as he went to Bastard Academy tryouts. He was met by a lot of older and more experienced players. Ness said that they were huge and looked strong, but even then, he would show them. He knew that if he showed results in this intra-squad scrimmage, the chances of him scoring a pro contract with Bastard München, the strongest club in Germany, would skyrocket, and his dream of becoming a magician would come true. And that was put to the test as kickoff began, and Ness started with the ball. The dribbled across two players flawlessly, with such a sharp execution. Someone else in the box told Ness that he was open. Ness thought that
2,000 years later.
couldn't be helped and decided to pass, but out of nowhere someone came and stole the ball. Ness is confused as he has already got past this guy, but he's already back, and after that, the other team managed to score. Ness notes that these guys are totally different from the players he's used to facing. He wonders if this is the level of those who are seriously trying to turn pro, and even though he can just keep up with them, with his technique and creativity, he falls short when it comes to tactics, coordination play, and transition, saying once again that they are on a totally new level to Ness. Two players go and block his path, making him fall to the ground and making Ness realize that his magic is powerless against the world. His teammates start screaming at him, asking him what he's doing and that he's too slow. Someone else says that he needs to get rid of the ball quicker and even calls him a slowpoke. Ness, falling to the ground, starts to hear the words of his family again, saying that there's no such thing as magic and that everyone who foolishly believes in magic isn't wanted in their house. He starts seeing dark silhouettes of them before him. He starts to cry, saying that he hates his magic. But suddenly, when looking up, he sees someone else with extremely long hair. He calls him a loser and asks if Ness believes in the impossible, turning around and looking into Ness's crying eyes. The text at the bottom says, as he sees his magic get stymied during the bastard Munchin tryouts, Ness loses the will to fight. Lying on the ground, his ego in tatters, and now on the verge of despair, Ness looks up to see Kaiser towering over him.
Bruh. Bruh.
Walking side by side.
The text at the top says, Kaiser's past is revealed. Raised in an unloving, abusive, depressive household, the life of Michael Kaiser begins. And then, to start it off,
We can see someone who we can pretty much assume to be Kaiser's father. He has some kind of beer in his hand, while his other hand is wrapped around Kaiser's face. And we then see Kaiser, who can't do anything but cry as he looks at his abusive father, as the text says that Kaiser's childhood was something no child should want or ever have to endure. Kaiser's father was a small-time theater director, and his mother was his father's lead actress. Whether the romance between them just fizzled out, or the unintended consequences of one lustful and passionate night. Anyway, shortly after giving birth to Kaiser, the mother abandoned Kaiser and the father, and not long after, the mother became a star actress. On the other hand, cast into the shadow of the mother's success, the broken-hearted father entered an endless spiral of self-destruction, with an alcoholic gambling addict father beating the crap out of Kaiser every chance he got. That was the unfortunate reality of how Kaiser grew up, and it wasn't as if Kaiser could just go somewhere else as he had no other place to turn to. After that, we see that the father had ordered Kaiser to work. However, Kaiser is just a kid at this time, so what kind of work could he have? Well, he was ordered to steal different things. Kaiser made his way to the neighborhood store and stole everything from food to everyday appliances. If he managed to fail to bring anything, the father would yell at him and beat him up, and because of that, Kaiser quickly became an expert thief. However, when he came home with the things he had stolen that day, there was a problem. His father told him that he had forgotten the milk, which made him extremely angry as his fat ass was too lazy to go and get it himself. So he kicked Kaiser right in the face, telling Kaiser that if he forgets the milk one more time, then he will seriously kill him. So even if Kaiser did his job, the daily beatings and abuse wouldn't stop. Far from it. Michael was the name that the mother gave Kaiser shortly before she left. However, that name was never uttered by the father,
Later.
not even once, as it was evident that the father deeply resented and hated the mother. Yet the father had treasured a rose the mother had once given him, and Kaiser couldn't believe why his father had kept it this time, as it was something from someone who had ruined his father's life. After that, Kaiser's father starts to choke Kaiser. He says that he is a piece of garbage and that the woman he loves discarded him. However, while still choking Kaiser, he says that he is below that and that he is the scum that he and Kaiser's mother had spawned, telling Kaiser that he is incompetent, worthless, and a piece of worthless trash. He says all of that while looking into Kaiser's eyes, which are filled with fear as he doesn't know how this is going to end. And Kaiser had to endure things like this multiple times every day. After that, we see him walking in the street, saying that one beautiful day he will leave this place. And as Kaiser got older, his desire only grew stronger. Among the things he stole, the boy secretly sold off the more valuable items and kept the money for himself, and for someone like him, it was his first moment of defiance. After that, we got to Kaiser's 12th birthday, and he decided to buy something for himself, which was probably when his life actually started. He thought about buying food, but threw that idea to the side as he wanted something that would last. And honestly, he didn't care what he bought, but after being abused and mistreated for so long, he wanted to find something which could give him a will to live for, and that's when he came across it. He was looking at a brand new football in the window, and knew that it was what he wanted. He bought it, and went to a nearby park and sat on the ground. He said that when he throws the ball, it flies away, but when it hits the wall, it bounces back to Kaiser, even when he gets angry and punches it, or when he kicks it. With all his strength, it never cries or gets angry at him. And when things got rough with his father, his football was always silently by his side. When his father was done with him, he found somewhere to rest and put the football close to his chest, saying that both him and the ball were pieces of trash. Kaiser started to shred a tear as he dreamed of getting out of this hellish nightmare he was in. However, one day, some thieves robbed the neighborhood jewelry store, and among the captured thieves, one of them gave the police the name Michael Kaiser as an accomplice, as Kaiser and the thief knew each other. However, the saddest part is that Kaiser was completely innocent, and that it was a completely unfounded accusation that framed Kaiser for it. His father hears this, and takes a beer bottle and smashes it at Kaiser, which could have ended extremely badly. His father asks him how many times he's told him not to steal things that aren't his, and to get lost and die, and that just made my blood boil, that he just straight up lied about everything. Kaiser can't believe his ears, and thinks that his father really isn't one to talk, and he calls him a deadbeat. After that, the police found a safe where Kaiser slept that had tons of money in it. His father is only getting angrier, and asks Kaiser to explain before trying to hit him again. But lucky for him, the policeman stops him. His father screams at him that he wasn't allowed to hide money from him, but says that now that Kaiser is going to jail, the money is his. Kaiser sees this as he is getting handcuffed, and is a bit irritated, but there's nothing he can do about it. He says that he could recoup that cash some other time, and that he can just start over. As Kaiser is getting escorted out, another policeman comes to his father with Kaiser's football, and says that it was lying near his bed. His father is confused, but gets angry as he tells Kaiser that he better not have stashed some money inside this football. He takes his broken beer bottle and is about to destroy the football, but at this point, Kaiser isn't having any more of his shit. He breaks free from the policeman and jumps high up in the air. His eyes have a sense of anger that can't be explained in them, and with that, Kaiser finally gives back to his father by kicking him right in the face, which makes him bleed and fall right to the ground. Kaiser says that at that moment, something snapped for him, or rather, it was as though something new got born to life. The policemen see this and try to get Kaiser to stop, but Kaiser can't think clearly anymore. He has tears in his eyes as he sees the ball bouncing on the floor and manages to actually make a volley right into the policeman's face. Anyway, one of the policemen takes out a gun, still on a child by the way, but that doesn't matter to Kaiser as he also gives him a kick right to his face. The thing that got born inside Kaiser was nothing else but an identity, which he hadn't had before. And just like that, Kaiser, while screaming his heart out, had just taken down 3 policemen while being handcuffed. However, he sadly got caught in the end, and as he was in his cell, and as the night came closer, someone came to visit him. He has a serious aura around him as he asks Kaiser if he loves football. Kaiser is confused by this question, but he tells Kaiser that if he does, then he can get Kaiser out of there. The man was revealed to be Ray Dark, who is none other than the World Football Association agent, or scout, who's come to probably take Kaiser under his wing. The text at the bottom says, "Will the light shining into the abyss be a ray of hope? Kaiser's new life as a footballer begins now."
Bruh.
so far away. No, nobody but me can get me sleep, and I'm on my way.
Bruh.
You're not me. There's just no way. I'd never do the kind of things that you've been doing. Oh, spare. Just stop. Why are you acting like the part of me that I hate? I wish you would just go away.